Hey everyone, this is Jamie. Um, I kind of struggled with which topic to choose for this video, and in general, I've been kind of cynical without realizing it. Um, quick update, I guess, before I move on to the title. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day if it still is Valentine's Day. If you're watching in the future and it happens to be Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. If it's not happy Valentine's Day, I don't know, go drink regardless. If you're into drinking. Hey. Anyway, so I've kind of been very disappointed at humanity, to put it very simply, and that kind of stretches into today's topic, which is why I feel like people are very pressing themselves into monogamy when it shouldn't be the case. So when we look at monogamy as a concept, there's a lot of different theories when it comes to like it was needed for historical context. It was needed due to historical reasons. It was needed due to population control. It was needed due to the church saying so. It was needed because God said so. It was needed because I have no idea. Someone wanted to keep someone's legs not spread out or willy somewhere specific. Anyway, so the point is, even up to today, you can find reasons why people say I would rather have my partner be mono, or I would rather be in a mono relationship. And that seems to be like the common sort of. It's kind of like heterosexuality. Everyone assumes you're hetero. Everyone assumes you're cis. Everyone assumes you'll want a mono relationship. And as funny as it is, the biggest aspect when it comes to my identity, it was specifically accepting myself as polyamorous, which I struggle the most. And that's why I don't make so many videos about it, I don't talk too much about it. But at the same time, when I'm telling a story and I know that it involves me hooking up or Grindr, I think today was pretty much the first time when I dodged it. I actually got asked up front, why do you have Grindr? And I just went on this long talk about how I just enjoy trolling people. Yet I proceeded to try and find a hookup because I was drunk, but that's not the point, please. Please stop judging me. Stay at home, and I did stay at home, I just wanted straight pics. Anyway, back to the topic. So it is a part of my identity which I do not discuss a lot, and as time goes, I start hating people more openly. Like, every time I've tried to kind of balance two relationships, it always ends up with the second person trying to pull me away from Lucas, and it makes me highly uncomfortable. Besides, probably one time, two times, which didn't work out because of long distance. Like, it was literally 6 hours on the plane away, both ways, so yeah. I mean, different sides of the world. So, yeah, that didn't work out. And the guys involved were like in open relationships, so. Regardless. So I kind of try to stay away these days, even though I do say I'm open for it, and if it happens, I'm open for it, but the more time progresses, the more I kind of start hating people more. And I try to restrict myself. I don't know how to say this, like, And it's really funny because I was actually dreading doing this video because I thought that I would actually like be a downer, but apparently I'm not. So, but in general, been having actually a really troublesome time when it comes to accepting people for their own stupidity. And I have not been liking where the world is going. I have not been liking anything. And I think the situation which made me rethink a lot about monogamy versus polyamory was I went on a hookup with this guy. Well, it was supposed to be a hookup. And I arrived there, or a bit before that, I confirm that he knows that I'm trans because I gave him my Instagram and I figured, well, my Instagram says that I'm trans everywhere, so obviously the guy is aware, right? And I had it written in my profile back then, I think. Yeah. Well, regardless, he was aware. And I have on my profile written that I'm in an open relationship. I even screenshot it to make sure that if he asks, I will point it out that it is there. Because a lot of people actually tell me, well, I thought it meant that you want an open relationship with me. And it's like, honey, I'm already in an open relationship. So what happens was, we had a very long discussion about trans people, which kind of traumatized me a bit. But you know, I'm always happy to. If you're willing to listen, I'm willing to answer any dumb questions for real, because I do understand, and well, back then I was a bit more patient. Um, that it's better if you ask me or someone else who's willing to listen answer your dumb question than to hear it from some dumbass turf or someone who has their views clearly wrong, specifically in our day and age. So we discussed that, and then he's like, wait, you're in an open relationship? And I'm like, well, yeah. And then he's like, oh, okay, well. And then we discussed that obviously, since he's not interested in an open relationship with me, then that it should surely be under the dome of friends with benefits. And then he's like, well, how many years have you been in this, weird arrangements? And I'm like, 10? And he chokes on his water. And because he started like talking stuff like, I want a relationship which can last me like a lifetime, and like, where's my Romeo and whatever. And then they say 10 and the guy fucking chokes and he's like, how does that work? Like, I'd end up, and the guy was clearly just losing his mind from that. So yeah, and then I proceeded, like, it's not the first time I hear that, but it is an interesting sort of observation the more I go through life, that people seem to think that the only relationship that works is the one where you're like locked in very, very rigidly in your close relationship, and the less communication you have, the better. And I never understood that. I'm sorry if you can hear water, it's my dog drinking water. He decided that he's thirsty. He's cute, I promise. Hey, buddy. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for my dog. Anyway. So yeah, and it's kind of, I've went through, obviously, different friends, different attempts at partners, and etc. and everyone's kind of like have their own ideas of what monogamy should be. And I see that it's very, very rigid and very, very demanding. And this is where I guess I don't understand a certain point, because my partner Lucas is monogamous, and I'm the poly one, so I'm the slut. And that's what confuses a lot of people. Like, how is Lucas okay? And obviously, if you're a nice person, I might reroute you to Lucas, who will explain to you in depth, or I will be the one answering the questions. But key is communication. Like, you really need to know your partner, you need to know yourself, you need to know your relationship, you need to work on your relationship, and at the end of the day, it's I don't know. To me, a hookup is just a hookup. If it's something more geared than that, yeah, sure, whatever. But I always tell Lucas what's going on. I always tell him where I'm going. I tell him if I'm flirting. I tell him if it's going somewhere, and he is the person who gets like, there's that meme of like, before you enter some dodgy places, send someone the location, specifically a friend. Well, that friend for me is Lucas. So when people want like a quick explanation of how our relationship works, I literally just say, imagine that Lucas is my best friend and I'm telling him my grinder hookups. That's it. And obviously, I make sure that I'm okay with it, he's okay with it, and I do not cross any boundaries. Um, yeah, and he makes sure to say whenever he feels uncomfortable, whenever I feel uncomfortable, and etc. So yeah. Um, and I'm not one of those people who says like everyone's polyamorous. I just think that we need to be more open-minded. And it's not even about the monopoly discussion. It's about the fact that we need to start accepting each other. And in general, I've been really hating the world. So we really need to be more accepting in friendships, relationships, I don't know, Instagrams, discussions, friendships, psychologists. Shout out to my psychologist, well, ex-psychologist who called me out, so you're a cunt. Sorry. I got really angry this morning, so had to get that off my chest. If you get fired, please do not take it out on your patients, specifically if it's your fault. So, anyway, I feel guilty. Anyway, I try to be a nice person. That's the thing. Try is hopefully the right word here. Anyway, I ended up making this video much shorter than I am, so the message of this video is communication is key. Please talk to everyone, please stay safe, please don't be a cunt to other people, please communicate, please be open-minded, just don't be a cunt. I think that just covers everything. And yeah, that's pretty much me for this week, and I hope to myself that I'll have a better mood next week. And to everyone, stay safe, have a good mood as well. See ya.